good morning, slash evening, slash night, slash apocalyptic future where these time frames do not apply. Today's topic of discussion are databases, and DBMS is. So, let's begin with DBMS. If you do not know what DBMS stands for, that's too bad. DBMS stands for Database Management System. To help remember this, just keep this simple acronym in mind. If you remember this acronym, you'll never forget what DBMS stands for. Database management systems are designed to allow for the administration of databases. With a DBMS, creating, updating, and destroying databases is simple and easy. Now, about databases themselves. Databases are organized collections of data. The data is organized into tables called objects. Objects are representations of real-world entities in which data can be stored. Think of them like voodoo dolls. When something happens to the real-life version, the object in the database changes as well. For example, if a person was to get a 10, then the database attribute 10 would become yes. If a person was suddenly erased from existence, then their database entry would also be permanently erased. For those who have particularly sensitive ears, you may have picked up on use of the word attribute. What is an attribute, you ask? Well, listen closely. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know why that went off. But anyway, attributes are a single data item related to a database object. They are represented by columns on a table. But if attributes are columns, then what are rows? Rows are used to represent records. A record is a thin plastic disc carrying recorded sounds. But it is also an instance of an object. For example, in an object called hit list, one record would be for you. One would be for your most loved family member. One would be for your second most loved family member. And one would be for that guy down the street that you don't know. The world doesn't revolve around you, you know? Each DBMS supports a different database model. The most popular database model supported is... Drumroll please. Wow, you're so stupid, you can't even get the instrument right. The most popular database model supported is... Relational. Moving on, another What? You don't know what relational means? It's almost as if this video is intended to teach you. So, there are 4 database models. Plot file, relational, network, and... Hold on a moment. That doesn't look right. Let me just check the spelling. Nope. It is right. Unbelievable. But rather than obsess over the idiocy of the human language, let us discuss these database models. Flat file databases are databases with no structured relationships. They are prone to redundancy. In layman's terms, they are inferior, and no one loves them. What should be used to represent them? Oh yes, I know. Not flat enough. Let's make it flatter. There is a much better database model than flat file. Enter relational databases. Relational databases have structured relationships between multiple objects. Exciting, I know. Only one person could represent such a widely loved model. Relational databases use keys to help link objects together. The first type of key is called the primary key. The second type of key is called a foreign key. The third type of key is, appropriately named, the secondary key. An easy way to remember the name for the third type of key is to just remember that nothing in life makes sense, and that you will all die someday. Primary keys are an attribute that is unique to each record. No two records can have the same primary key. For example, here are two toms. While these two toms will have the same data under the name attribute, they will have unique primary keys to help distinguish them. Which is good, because I certainly wouldn't want to get these two mixed up. I mean, what even is this? Ugh. Next up are foreign keys. Don't worry, these keys aren't stealing any jobs. Foreign keys are primary keys from another object. They are used to refer to a record from a different table. For example, if someone owns some slaves, the slaves will have different primary keys. So, you can put the ID of the slave owned in the slave attribute, and the tables will be linked. Now, you may be saying, why? First of all, your voice sounds dumb. Secondly, stop asking unnecessary questions. Thirdly, it is because each slave will have their own attributes. Rather than re-entering them every time a slave is referred to, we can just use the foreign key to refer to the whole record. Fourthly, is fourthly even a word? Secondary keys. Remember when I said that the way to remember the name for this key is to just remember that life is unfair? Well, besides being completely true, it's also a way to remember how this key works. For each object, there are several attributes that could be the primary key. For example, in an object about torture weapons, there could be several unique attributes. I will use random humans to represent these attributes, because you are not entitled to waste my time thinking of some. Out of these, all the others with the ID would be picked as the primary key. See? Life is unfair. What if the computer is being racist when it decides who the primary key will be? Is it just because this attribute is black? Stop computer racism. Well, this is it, then. You are now filled in on databases. You're probably going to click off of this video now. It's a shame. We've become so close. I almost wish we could become closer. But we can't. While you're goofing around on YouTube, I have errands to run. So goodbye. I'm sure I'll see you again soon.